Word.
Yeah, call Two Boy Lounge.
Oh, yes, yes.
Good.
Hey, bro. Oh, you got your patty, your patty on, Rolling Girls. I see you. I see you.
I can't see nothing right now, cuz. Oh, goddamn, this is the end of the day for me. Sheesh.
Man, you.
How you be?
I'm hanging, trying not to bang.
Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. I'm motherfucking fix myself one of these goddamn Bloody Marys, but I had to goddamn do more than I normally do, and I don't overdid it.
Uh-oh. Well, every now and then, every now and then, every now and then, you know,
It was super
happens to
spot.
players too. Happens to players too.
Gotta see that thing through, my boy. Oh shit. Woo! You ready to get to it?
Let's go.
Let's get it. One more again. If it for the fifth motherfucking podcast.
Yes, sir.
Hey, all right, I'm DTF. Drunk Tank Fern. I'm way in it right now. Hollywood, great to have you back.
Holla, 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 holla.
Great to have you back. So look.
Man, it's good to be back. It's
So
so good to be back.
we got a couple of days to go through, right?
We do. We do. I think we do. I'm sure we do. It's
And
about
I got
whether or not I'm prepared. What?
I got a couple spares in the total in case we need them. I don't think we're gonna need them though, because I mean, you see, I'm rocking the Rolling Garros.
Sir.
This was a gift.
Good times. Good times. Yeah.
Good times, right? And of course, you was right there in the experience. You know what I'm saying? Hey yo, I had to ride the Rolling Girls because I know on one of these we got a lot to unpack. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? This was that guy doggone experience. Where y'all? This is
The French Open.
the French Open. Y'all was at.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A little time ago, but like I said, symbolic because we got a lot to unpack. I know we got one that we had already. Okay, I'm gonna wait for you to get back. Okay, there it is.
Yeah, it is.
But like I said, I know in one of these we got a lot to unpack. So I'm gonna leave that one for the close, the second topic. But let's jump into this first topic, which whoo, I ain't got no business jumping or nothing. If I can stand, you feel me? So the second one, I'm gonna let you lead on, but this first one, it's all what we supposed to be talking about, social media, this, that, and the other, right? So just to give it to you to set you up so you can go off real quick. This was about the black women. This touched on it in the workplace. I had one of those words. I forgot what that word was.
Dude, I was like, oh, look at him. Now he want to use his English degree. Why he talking to me like this?
I forgot what that word was.
Capitulate.
Capitulate. Ooh wee. So they talking about the black woman in the workplace. And she can't just be herself. In the workplace, we talking corporate America. And it's like the whole thing is like if the black woman is in this surrounding, and obviously we're not talking about a place where it's uh, black on black. We talking about a lot of mixings, right?
Mm-hmm.
And have the black woman is just quiet to herself, reserved. I'm gonna say reserved, right? Antisocial. We could throw that out there, whatever, because that's
Mm-hmm.
one of the words that they would throw out there. You
Yes,
know,
that they would. Okay.
antisocial.
Aggressive. Uh-huh.
You know,
Aggressive.
aggressive to herself and all that. They're talking about hey, how come you don't want to share so much? How come you ain't as open as we want you to be? We going to the after work, spots, and you acting like you ain't all in and all of that stuff. So and this I got this off the PCB Plastic Cup Boys, Kevin Hartfolk. They was talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't set it up too much more than that, but just give it to me on your experience or from your, not even if it ain't your experience, from your perspective. How do you feel about this conversation as far as you know being part of the team or not being all the way in with the team or this, that, or the other?
Well, I mean, I think it goes just for African Americans, period. I think men have an easier time with quote unquote mixing than African American women in the corporate setting. Um, just because men can be just a little different. Like, yeah, men can be just different. Like, I think back to when we went to camp a long time ago. No, we didn't go to camp. It was like a dude ranch. Um, there were other kids there. You were able to fit in better because there was a basketball court and y'all was able to hoop. And yeah, I didn't have none of that. So it was just like, okay. And I feel like it's the same thing or similar. But with women in corporate America, um, Black women, African American women, we have to or are expected to go an extra step to prove ourselves. Then we have to monitor everything we say and do. Because it can be, it can be taken a certain way until we get to the level where they're just like, oh, whatever she says is golden. But as we're getting there, folks be threatened. We reflect, or I'm not going to say we reflect, but when they look at us, they see their insecurities. Because we are a beautiful species, beautiful group, and inside out, not just outer beauty, but inside, and we're nurturers, we're caregivers, we're generous, and we naturally want everyone to win. And that can come across as, it can be taken as weakness. It can make other folks not feel good about themselves, et cetera, et cetera. So when climbing the corporate ladder, and the ladder is not wrong with African Americans, it can be a little challenging. You speak up too much, then you aggressive and you angry, and and then if you don't speak up enough, then you're demure, you're well, demure is not the word they would use, but you know, you're
Look that
passive.
one.
What'd you say?
Gotta look that one up, demure.
You know, you're passive, you're not assertive enough, and or folks just decide that they just don't respect you. Or if you carry yourself and look a certain way, like you can't be all together on the outside, because then that's threatening. Um, you know, and then when you talk about hanging out, like I'll speak for myself. When I'm hanging out, first of all, my father talks about me all the time. He's like, Rashida, you need to do more, you need to play the role. It's not my strength. It's not my strength. My level of discernment is very high. And so I'm gonna fall back. And everybody's like, oh, why don't you want to get y'all got this. So like going out after work for drinks and stuff like that, I'm gonna drink this water. You're not gonna have a cocktail. No, I'm good. And that makes others uncomfortable. And oh, you're not hanging out, you're not blending. Because I know for me personally, I say some things, my intent might not be, it's not coming from a negative place, but it can be taken that way, one. And I'm I'll already say some stuff and you will be like looking at me kind of like, did you just say that? So with some liquor in my system, it's going to all come out. So, it is challenging for me. Dad is like, tells me all the time, I got to play the role. I got to do better. It's not my strength. It's not my strength. And a lot of times, and I will fall to the back, like, let me be the behind the scenes person. And people get that messed up, get it twisted and be like, oh, she's not this, that, and the third. And then when stuff gets to working and it's just like, wait, who did that? Yeah. But I don't need the front line. I don't need all that acknowledgement. Just let me do what I'm gonna do, make it work. You can even take the credit. And 9 times out of 10, I really don't care. Only time it bothers me is when you just real disrespectful, real bogus with it, like sitting in my face to some I did that. You didn't do that. I did that. And then you gonna try to convince me that you did it. But yeah, I mean it's a challenging game to navigate. Some people are better at it than me. I'm not the best at it. So
Okay. I appreciate you offering that up perspective because the Plastic Cup boys, I mean boys, right? So it's all guys talking on this podcast. And they came to the conclusion that like it was a light bulb type situation. Like, oh my goodness, I didn't recognize that this was a thing, and oh my goodness, we need to, really understand what's going on with Black women in the workplace. And oh my goodness, I didn't know. And oh, this is such an enlightening, conversation topic, things of that nature. And it was like, oh my God, we need to show more sensitivity in this arena, towards a Black woman and all of that thing, along those lines. And I just want to call bullshit on the whole conversation, right?
oh, that's why you was looking at me like, because I knew that look you gave me, and I was like, all right, I see where he going.
I didn't know. I didn't know I was giving you that look, but I definitely want a sharp left turn on this one because, this is just all about cultural bias. It's all about power structure. And look, as much as we want to, in the social world, condemn bullying, bullying is a part of nature. It's like, whoever got the power wins. Who is the golden rule? Whoever got the most gold rules. And that's what it is. It is what it is. And I've always encountered this because I mean, from a youngin, there's all type of stories about me being a rebellious individual, right? But what am I rebelling against? I'm rebelling against expectations. I'm not rebelling against my true personality as far as who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm rebelling against expectations. And so the word camaraderie is a huge thing when it comes to corporate America, right? Like you said, it is about fitting in. It is about all of that stuff and playing the role of this, that, and the other. But what role, right? It's the role depends on who's in power.
Yes, you're right.
Like what structure they set forth. And like I said, I didn't know I was giving you the look, but I'm listening to these guys the same way I'm listening to you, and I'm just like, hey man, you got to be in it to win it. The whole thing. And I can always, fall back on my sports background, my athletics background. Like it's in athletics, we keep stats, Joe, and these stats is real. Is you doing the thing that get us to the victory, they get us to the W.
Yeah. It is a numbers game all day.
Man, and that's something. And so where I'm saying, like, I'm calling bullshit is just like it is what it is. If we know what the rules are, if we know what the game is, then what you trying to do in this game? You trying to play to win? You trying to play just to stay on the team? You know what it is you trying to do, or you trying to doggone?
That is a good point, though.
Yeah. Whatever they call the apple cart, toss that thing over Kanye style and like, really, man, I ain't with none of this, and I'm gonna do it my way. Blase skibble, off the bam. I can always get that one in. So, my whole thing is just like, I ain't never really been in any type of societal structure where it's been a majority African American / Black environment. I've never been in that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, first grade was my last year at the public schools, you know what I'm saying, where all my peoples was, all my homies, all my block boys, all this type stuff, you know what I'm saying? But second grade, I had to go to a different school and I had to adjust and adhere to different rules. I didn't like any of them rules. I didn't like none of them rules. I wasn't necessarily smacking teachers and setting buildings on fire, but at the same time, like I was always getting chastised. I can say that, and that's not the proper word, when it's coming from the authorities, from adults. But I was all reprimanded. Let's use that word. I was always being reprimanded for this, that, or the other. My attitude, my actions, right? I didn't like, man, whatever was going on. Like I didn't know how. I probably didn't. I ain't always been the most outspoken, but I was like, yo, this is fake, phony. This is not real, And then I wasn't the most prideful in academics. I ain't never really been no dummy, but as far as being prideful in academics, I wasn't that. That wasn't me. But them folks was at my neck about that. Like, I mean, it's grade school wasn't that bad academically.
Mm-hmm.
But in high school, I really rebelled. Like I almost, no. I want to say I almost got held off the basketball team, but definitely for a week or two, I wasn't allowed to participate because of academic stuff, because of social stuff.
Really?
Man, like my freshman year in basketball, I did not start a few games. I didn't start, and it wasn't at all because somebody was better than me. It was because academically I wasn't, acting properly in a
Okay.
classroom setting. Socially capitulating. I wasn't capitulating to those social norms. I got it in there. I got it in there. No stutter. You know, and yeah, man, they were crazy, man. It was crazy. And even going all the way through my senior year, it was not an even playing field. It was not an even playing field. And I always felt out of place.
Mm.
And it was, so I'm just saying,
Wow.
like,
I would have never thought that.
right, we can put this in different perspectives, but basically it's like, yo, who's in power? That's what it's all about. Who's in power?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And like I said, it didn't really hit me so much in grade school, but in grade school, I had Black coaches.
Mm-hmm.
All my teachers and educators weren't Black, but when it came to basketball, I had Black coaches.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't so awkward for me in grade school. But in high school, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And no shade to my guy who won the award, you know, for, I ain't even finna call the award what it is. You know, we know what it is. But the number one dude on the basketball team got a certain award, you know, and it's named after the school, after our mascot. That's why I'm not finna call it, because I don't even like representing. You know what I'm saying? For real. And my pop be at me all the time, man. Like, how come you don't dig into them roots, man? Hell with them roots, man. Hell with them roots. But I didn't get the award for a simple reason, because I rebelled. I rebelled, and the way that I rebelled wasn't even like in a terrible way. Like basketball coach wanted us to run cross country to stay in shape for basketball. Man, I ain't running no cross country. I'm gonna go play football. And because of that, that man held, you know, some type of grudge against me for going to play football. Now, mind you, as far as basketball goes, the role I played in basketball, I'd have never made it to college. I mean, as far as getting a scholarship, never, no way. Football, straight pathway, because they let me do what I was supposed to be doing, running around being some young Black dude. But in basketball, they didn't want us to run around being young Black dudes. They wanted us to god doggone be robotic type stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, and that carried, and when I got to corporate America, it was the same thing. Like, yo, we acted out so much. When 125 South Clark, downtown Chicago.
Did you say the whole address?
125 South Clark, second floor. God doggone. I was working for the school system, and we acted out so much. And the only reason it was tolerated was because we was the majority as far as getting the work done. But as far as the power structure, we wasn't in power. We were not empowered, and I was the one to always rebel. Black History Month, I got all type of cutouts and pictures and everything on my wall behind my desk. And the Jewish boss lady, she had to walk every time to see that. And what you gonna say? And what you gonna say if I don't take them down right after February?
Right, because how is that gonna work?
You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you gonna tell me? Oh, you can't have these photographs up. Oh, you got photographs in your office? What's the difference? What's the difference? Now, I didn't get too many promotions after I got that position. I didn't get too many promotions, but demote me. Go ahead, do that. I dare you. And look, All I'm saying is we make our choices.
We do, because I think about like what you're saying, and right, it's all about who has control and where you fit in. And like I said, I am a behind the scenes type person, but what I am going to do is get the job done. Whether you like how I do it, whether you see what I'm doing at the end, when you look at them numbers, job is done.
Yeah.
And what I have found, like one of my friends said this to me before I got this recent promotion. She was like, everywhere you go, your boss is always creating a position for you.
Right.
And I was like, because this last one, I was like, should I take it? I was like, they created this position. She was like, don't nobody else get out of our crew. You're the only one that's always getting a position created for. What you scared of? What you doing? They created the position for you. So even if you don't meet your expectation, like it's a whole new position. You're setting the expectations. Do the job.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, all right, thank you. Thank you. That's what I needed to hear. And so even with me not necessarily playing the game, hanging out and having those after work drinks or meeting here and there, it still always work out because, and I'm gonna go there. What God has for me, you can't take away. And if this is the path that I'm on, this is the path He set me on. Period. So I don't have to run up and do all that. I ain't got to be all rah, 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 nor do I have to be always in the front so you can see me, hey, look at me, look at me. Because at the end of the day, what's meant for me will be, and my work is going to shine through. Now, do I need to do a little better or learn to sell myself a little better? Yeah, but at the end of the day, hopefully I'll get that skill. That is the goal, but I ain't missed out on nothing. Right. I ain't mad at where I'm at.
Ooh, cause we don't know where you be. We don't know where you be. We gotta check in with you. We get it is like I say, hey, you say you ain't that rah 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 for sure. You that Zala, you that Runch, you that guy doggone.
Dude, and I was like, I ain't gonna even post these recent pictures from these last couple of trips, you know, because my hashtag is where in the world is Rashida Fern. I was like, I'm just gonna be chill. I'm just gonna be chill. Because as soon as we get off this line, I gotta go pack again. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Talk to him one time. So look, that thing is like, you know, I do my affirmations now, and the number one, the first one is do the thing and have the power, right? Like I was on even on the last joint I did. I'm like, yo, don't point the finger at somebody else. You know, use a thumb. You know what I'm saying? Take responsibility for that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ever choose weakness. Like so many times, I feel like people choose weakness.
Because even if you keep pointing your finger at somebody else, at some point you got to step up and take responsibility. You got to step up and take over, take responsibility. You got to change something.
It's in the blood, y'all. It's in the blood, y'all. You know what I'm saying? You got to.
You have to. Oh shoot.
Because you know the way I'm learned it. The way I'm learned it is that like yo, if you give somebody else all that power, all that responsibility, then that means you have no control over your own situation.
And you know, I am a glory be to God. I want to do everything and give Him all the praise, but at the same time, He's setting you up so for greatness. And if you're gonna give it all to somebody else, clown. You wasting everything that has been given to you. And if you giving somebody else more control, and my God is a jealous God, so as far as He gonna take it, is you worshiping another idol. You worshiping an idol. you gonna sit there and be like, you can't do something because of somebody else? Get your life. Get your life. And how
That
long you
part.
gonna keep letting that go on?
That part.
All right, oh shoot.
What's up? We got technical difficulties. Oh, we got emergencies. Oh, we got to check in. Okay. But yeah, that's definitely it, man. Like, and so the post was definitely poignant. You know what I'm saying? And it's definitely something, to be addressed. But like, take from what we saying is like, yo, my whole thing is operate from a position of power. Like it was one of the most iconic interviews ever with Kanye and Sway, and Ye telling that man, you ain't got the answers. Sway, you ain't got the answers. And everybody, it's easy to dump on Kanye, man. Sway is a solid brother. He got all type of support. But yo, what Kanye is saying is like, hey man, I'm not trying to do this status quo. You can do the status quo if you want to, and that's an option. That's a choice.
But I
Like,
do want to wear shoes outside. Go ahead.
you do want what?
I want to wear shoes outside. Put your shoes on, yeah.
Hey, I'm about to get to this trucker lifestyle, so I'm about to be just like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Not showering and shit. And then, boy, why these folks get to a certain level, they figure they ain't supposed to shower, what this, that, and that, and the other, man. But,
Man,
but I'm so yay with it, man. Like, yo, I'm all about the controversy, man. The man Ye said slavery was a choice. And like everybody wanted to dump on him for that. But no, it literally was a choice. Like if we watch the movie Harriet, if we dig into the story, she literally went back for folks and said, hey, let's go. And they said, you know what? I'm just gonna stay here. You can choose. You can choose. It
we
really
always
is.
have a choice. Yes.
You always have a choice. Even back then,
On a
like
superficial level, I can ride with you. On a
on the
deeper
super.
level, and I'm sorry, superficial is not the word, surface. On the surface level, I can hear that. Dig a little deeper, no, sir. But I get what you're saying. So I'm just gonna leave it there. That's too deep. I can't. I'm not going there.
It's too deep on your conversation side, but on my side, it ain't that deep. Like even the white folks said it in what is engraved somewhere in our history in one of them books and tablets that they wrote, give me liberty or give me death. Like, I mean, this is as far as like this hip hop culture, everybody's a rider. You gotta be a rider, ride or die. You know what I'm saying? Like, when do we really choose to accept that mantra? Like, we can even a year or two ago, whenever them
Yeah,
folks
it's
wrote
easy to say you a ride or die when they already don't set the path and created it and all that other stuff. Like, come on.
all
I
of that,
mean, but go ahead.
all of that factual. Like, yo, I'm not no way possible, no way, no how am I finna live this lifestyle that y'all trying to enforce upon me. I'm not going. And just to be actual and factual, a lot of people died.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people died.
Yeah. Yes.
And so there's nothing to like shy away from in this conversation. Yo,
Yeah.
them
Because like
people.
when I was in Benin and we saw where they were taking the Africans to bring them over,
Like a lot of them ate the sand and all that so that they would die. Like I'm not getting on that boat. So again, yes,
It's
I think it's levels to it. I'm not gonna change that. I'd say on the surface, I definitely hear, because there's always an option. You might
yeah.
not like the options, but there is always an option.
Sometimes it's and again, like sometimes some options are really, really black and white, live or die.
Some of those options are bad or worse, and there are other things to be taken in consideration, like live or die. Do I leave my kids here? Do I, you know what I'm saying? I mean, again,
Yeah.
surface level, it can be so simple, but I think there's dimensions. I think there's levels to it, and that's all I'm gonna say. I ain't gonna say nothing else on it.
All right, like I said, definitely dimensions and levels. Definitely dimensions and levels. And when we talk about levels, and I mentioned the movie Harriet, and we talking about Harriet Tubman, she did some shit. She did some
Mhm.
shit, and just to
Sure she
enlighten,
did.
just to
Yeah,
bring it to
sure
a
she did.
lighter tone, just to bring it to a lighter tone. I can't call this Instagram person or social media influencer, but it was just on some bullshit, because LeBron versus Jordan is, one of the biggest debates that we can go to. Who's the GOAT? We're talking about basketball, then we go to football, and Jerry White, Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, oh, that's a shame. I can't. Tom Brady. Who's the greatest athlete of all time? Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Walter Payton, like all of these greats. Jim Brown. Who's the greatest athlete of all time? Pick one. Wrong.
Mhm.
Harriet Tubman, nigga. Harriet Tubman, the greatest athlete of all time, boy. Fuck you, mean, boy. This motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I wish I could shout out who really did that. But that was on some real shit, man. Like Harriet Tubman, greatest athlete of all time, the GOAT, the true GOAT when it comes to toting that thing back and forth across, across the goal line, the finish line. Who got okay, I did all I can do right there. Cause I'm not I mean shit, man. Niggas can't cancel me right now. I ain't even at that level where I can't be canceled. You know what I'm saying? That's the freedom part. That's that Corey Holcomb part. He like, I ain't rocking with y'all because all y'all gonna try to do is build me up to tear me down. So all right. So that's that. That's that. Now to the next one. I need you to lead because I'm a little shaky on this. It was a young lady put up some on social media and she was talking about marriage. How much did she go into the community, speak on African American Black folk? What you want to lead us, lead me, lead the people?
Okay, so I'm gonna try to summarize this. What she said is that for young African American women, when you're in school, in college, get your
Okay,
husband.
wait.
Not that one.
No, definitely 100% that one. Was it 100% targeted towards African American women? Were men because and I know a part of it was a numbers game as well. So I just wanted to make sure
I
we
I thought it was that women to
it
find
was
to
directed
find.
towards the women.
I
Okay,
thought so, to find their husbands while they're in college. Um,
okay, and that's why I got this shirt on, y'all. Roland Garrett. It was in French, like I said, in French. The shirt is in English. My peoples was in France. They bought me the shirt that had to match. You feel me? Like I said, she finna get out of town and again real quick. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said I knew we had a lot to unpack on that one. My girl stay, I got dog in the airwaves, seas, overseas, and all of that. Overseas, hey, that guy's a legend. My bad.
yes, it is. Yes,
Okay,
it is.
okay. It's all you. It's all you.
So, I mean, I can go with that different ways. I feel that when she was making that statement, because a lot of folks have had stuff to say about that. If your goal is to be married right out of college, then find your husband. So, and she was just like, basically a woman's worth, no matter how educated or whatever, goes down as she gets older, because the older you get, the less likely you are to have kids, complications, things like that, start a family. So your worth, according to Matt, goes down. But it all depends on what you value, in my opinion. And like we were talking about before, both of us went to school, but I ain't know no Black folks who had went to school. So for me, that was a white people thing. Not gonna lie, and I heard that in high school, you go to college to find your husband. That was what white people did, because I ain't know a whole lot of people going to school. So
And look, I
we got
got to go again because this be the funniest shit. How we grew up in the same households and had totally different lifestyles, things of that nature. I never heard that in high school.
because you wasn't a girl. And you weren't conditioned to find a husband. That's
But at the
what.
same time, I know for a fact some of these dudes that I went to college with, they were focused on the family construct. They were focused on fine. I know for a fact these dudes was like, yo, I'm gonna find me a girl, and this is gonna be my girl for life. So like, and again, the college I went to, same as high school. I don't know the numbers. You can call whatever it was in high school, but I know the college I went to was like minimum 95% white.
Mhm.
So obviously some of my
So
close
so
friends.
same thing. That it still was a white person thing.
It
When
was a
we
white
went to school,
person thing.
when we went to school, and all the Black folks we knew, that was not our focus. Finding our significant other. It was go to school, get you a good grades, get a good job, so that you can take care of yourself and the family that you get down the line. It wasn't about finding your significant other. That wasn't what we were supposed to go to school to do. When I used to listen to those young ladies talk at school, they were going to school to find their significant other.
They were going to school to find their significant other.
Yes.
Okay. I was just repeating because audio check, like you kind of break it up a little bit, but
So, the focus was different. I ain't saying that they didn't get good grades and stuff like that, but the primary focus was different. That wasn't never something that was emphasized. So with her saying that, so that was one thing. The other thing for me is we're in 2023. Everybody don't go to college no more. That ain't even what folks are always stressing to go to college. So many people doing things that they step foot on the college campus and according to societal norms are winning, right? Because if you're making money, then you win.
right.
You got a business and it's successful, you win. A lot of them, this is an entrepreneurial world we live in. You just talked about somebody being an influencer. Not saying that they didn't go to school, I don't know, but that ain't the focus. So for that group, if that's their focus, I get what she's saying. But that might go for some folks. That ain't for everybody. she was talking to a small group of people. And
Now let
there
me
are some folks who
interject here.
go for it.
You say she's talking to a small group of people. So let's think about numbers and percentages. Yale, Dartmouth, Harvard, these universities are still thriving.
Okay.
Duke
So is
University is
Howard. So
still
is
thriving.
Howard. So
So
is
is
Clark
Howard.
Atlanta. So
So
is
is Clark
Morehouse.
Atlanta. So Morehouse. And my point is, when you just say like she's speaking to a small number of people
that have that same belief.
Okay, because I thought we were talking about the educational construct as far as people going to school or whatnot.
I'm talking about that have that same belief of you need to go to school and find your significant other. That's
okay.
I'm saying that's the small percentage that I'm referring to.
Okay. So entrepreneurial goals or not, we're talking about we're back again to culture.
Yeah.
So what is it about our culture that doesn't necessarily lead us into that thought process, that mindset of establishing a family, a solid, concrete family construct at a younger age?
I'm not going to say that. I think so. First of all, because the one of the first things that popped in my head was assimilation is where we went wrong. Okay. Second thing I'm going to say is I think for us, it was more of a natural thing, whereas as opposed to you got to go seeking and finding and that's got to be a focus. We so smooth, we so cool with it. Like this is what it is, this is what it's going to be, and that's just a part of the life. And then on the flip side of that, we live in America where they made sure, we just talked about slavery, where they wanted to separate the men from the women and tear down our families and not want us to be a solid unit. And then we come out of slavery and, you can't, they gonna, make it seem like it's all of us on welfare, but you can't have no man and be on and get assistance and accept. They did everything in the world possible to keep the Black family from being together. So we come from get your education. Everything else gonna fall into place because the emphasis for us is different because we ain't starting at the same starting line. So now we just trying to have some of the same tools to be able to be successful in this world. If that's what you want to do, you gonna get married, you'll find your person, da 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 da. That ain't our focus. It's being able to set ourselves up so that from all the years where we couldn't own property until like what, 50s, 60s, something like that. Like just all that kind of stuff. That wasn't our focus. Our focus was shortening the distance between these starting lines.
So that being said, that wasn't our focus. The post that the young lady made, should that be our focus? Is she ahead of the game and trying to push us ahead and saying, yo, how long are we going to, eat chitlins? Because, that's a metaphor, right? Because chitlins is a part of our history. We eat chitlins, we from the rooter to the tutor, the pig, you know what I'm saying? When are we going to update this information, this software? Like, hey, we need to start focusing on the family structure out of high school into
She
college.
wasn't saying focus on the family structure. She said, get you a husband. I mean, and I just feel like that's not the exact same thing. And that it's only so
the family structure and the husband doesn't coincide.
so my thing, I guess what I'm saying is, and I probably didn't say it the best. First of all, her thing is still perpetuating these stereotypes or these thoughts that we're not complete unless we are married and have a husband. So you need
That
to go
women
in
are
and make
not
sure,
complete.
yes, so you need to go in and lock that down in college. Girl, boo, bye. You can't get in a relationship. You can get in a relationship, but to have a successful one or a healthy one, if you're not whole, like it's just so many different things that come with that statement. Like it just takes it back to, okay, because then I'm like, so we got to be barefoot and pregnant. And then I think about the conversation that we had some weeks ago where we talked about chivalry and equal rights. And I, I don't know. Like I said, I feel like her conversation was for a small percentage of people. Um, and if you worried about not having no man or growing old and being alone, then lock it down. Lock, hope it works.
So again, the rebel in me, and we already stated that this is going. We need a part 1, part 3, part 4, 6. We gonna die hard this thing. Lord of the Rings, this thing. We gonna got doggone. We need a prequel and all of this. So, yo, this is crazy because we're talking about what is the proper way? What is the ultimate? What is the ultimate success, and how do we get to the ultimate success, and the formula for ultimate success?
And I feel like she's saying that's to be married, and as if you don't get married, you're not successful. You can't be happy. And if I'm sure if you ask her, she'll say that's not what she meant, but that's the way it comes across. And it's like, that's fool. That's fool. In my
So
opinion.
I wanna throw it all the way back, and we had to, we don't throw the word slavery around, right? I'm gonna throw another word around this. Ooh, probably uglier than slavery, but it was a huge part of slavery. Breeding.
Who?
Breeding.
That's what I thought you said. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I
breeding.
just think sure. You said
And
breeding or
so,
greeting.
yeah, breeding. What I'm referring to in her conversation is, yo, we're in this field, when you go to college and you have the option to view yourself as top tier and select another top tier human to partner with, right? And back to slavery, like that's what they really wanted out of us, because they wanted the work to be done. So they breeded the biggest with the biggest. They breeded the best with the best. The best was the biggest. But in this college educational construct world society, I feel like I can most ignorantly and metaphorically transfer her words to breeding. We should take it upon ourselves to breed properly. I didn't know I was going to do that right there with the breeding, but I mean, is that a terrible concept? This individual is extremely bright, extremely ambitious. I feel like,
It's not I don't feel like it's a terrible concept. I just feel like her thought process is limiting because you're saying, in college as if, again, everybody that goes to college that guarantees success, like that'll guarantee happiness, and finding that mate there is going to just make your life just that great. And I don't know. I can't get with it.
And so like I said, we had already kind of decided this was gonna go into part 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8, 1300.
Mhm. It could go as long as we wanted to, because that's a heck of a statement she put out there.
Right. And so dang, I'm almost losing one, but I just feel like with the breeding statement,
Mm-hmm.
I lost one concept, but we were just at homecoming, out about A&M, HBCU.
Okay.
They whooped the shit out of Tuskegee. It was like 45-3 at halftime, and they actually came out and played the second half. I don't know why, but at halftime they had the homecoming court, homecoming king, homecoming queen, right? And they had about 5 or 6 selections of various, but then they had the king and the queen,
Mm-hmm.
and I just want to acknowledge that, like, that. And look, man, this is human nature out here, right? And I was once called an alpha male, which took me aback because I've never considered myself to be an alpha male, right? But the concept I can understand, and
Right.
as I mature as a single man, not necessarily looking for a mate, but considering mates. Yo, man, I'm not trying to deal with the riffraff, because through these years, I've kind of come to an understanding of the possible pitfalls, downfalls of dealing with riffraff.
So that means
And
you wish you found somebody in college?
said it again.
So that you wish you found you somebody in college?
No, I wish I found me. I wish I'd latched on to somebody really in high school. Really, my college endeavors weren't so awesome. It was really more high school for me. Oh man, I kind of lost a thought right there, but it's just about partnership. Ultimate goals. Goals are definitely something, and like I didn't really even understand how to appreciate goal setting until I was a full adult, like after my 30s.
Okay.
But another thing that we had touched upon was that, like, yo, from where we come, even speaking upon college, like nobody was talking about college where we was from. Like, yo, like I mentioned earlier, a couple minutes earlier, like I wasn't going to college if I wasn't an asshole. If I didn't, like, I was a basketball dude 100%. Like in grade school, these folks Like really, they low key stalked me to play football. I was not having it. My parents got stories about me ditching practices for football.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't know anything. They signed me up for football. They assumed I was going to practice. I was leaving the house and just coming back, at the appropriate time, but I was not going to football practice. And they caught wind of it like weeks later. In grade school, I was not trying to play football. The football coaches were at me like, "Yo, you need to play football. You could be this at this." I'm basketball. And in high school, I'm basketball. But this dude told me that in order to be a good basketball player, I need to run cross country. I went to 2 cross country practices. My first one was to see what it was about. And by the time that second cross country practice ended, I knew I was never going back. But he wanted us to stay in shape. He said, literally, if you don't play a fall sport, you're going to run cross country. I said, okay, well, now I play a fall sport. I went to playing football. That's the only reason I played football. That's how I got a college scholarship. Otherwise, I wasn't going to college. Like we spoke earlier, I would have been at this bum ass school. I'm not going to mention the school because I don't know if it's even a school now or whatever. But I ain't trying to dog no, institutions. But I wasn't going to this neighborhood college. Nowhere in the world, because I already looked down upon that. Like, man, y'all bums talking about y'all going to this school play ball. Y'all bums. Like, this is an athletic thing. This is a competition thing. This is, again, I never consider myself an alpha male, but I knew I was better than that. So I wasn't going to limit myself to that. But if I never played football in high school, then I would have been limited to going to a school that was not a university. So like you said, we didn't know anybody going to. So to her point, like, yo, if you got to go to a college, university to find someone and make that happen, and that's got to be your intent. Like, it's crazy because we didn't come from an environment where people was intent on going to college. So what now? If you're not even intent on going to college, like, how do you even, fit into this equation?
Exactly.
So part 1 of 100 million thousand trillion is late in this Sunday day, which is all the way night right now. So what I'm saying, I feel confident in saying we at least, crack the egg. We might not have a whole omelet right now, shredded cheese on top, but it's definitely a whole conversation. And like I said, this is real talk. This is real talk. We try and crack a couple of jokes, what I'm saying, every now and again, and keep it lighthearted. But it's real talk, and this is something that we need to speak. We need to speak on. It's a lot of stuff we need to speak on. There's a lot of stuff, once again, that needs to be unpacked. So you about to get into these passport waves again. Where you headed next? Can you tell the people?
Michigan for work.
What you said?
Michigan for work.
Oh, you just crossed a couple state lines. Oh yeah, that's them state
Just
lines.
a state line, yeah, just for work. Yeah.
Them state lines.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I'm gonna be there till Thursday.
Okay. It's so cold in the D.
It'll be warm. It'll be the same as it is here in Chicago.
Hey, it's still cold in the D. Don't you think that was about weather? It's so cold in the D.
Fair.
Have you ever watched that video?
No,
Oh, it's time.
no, it's okay.
It's time. I'm gonna send it to you. It's so
Great.
cold, D.
I'm looking forward to it.
You got something else you want to put on, or we gonna put it to bed?
No, we can put it to bed.
Let's put it to bed. We did that. You feel me? Goddamn, rewind if you don't think so. If it was a fifth motherfucking podcast, I got the lovely Hollywood with me.
Holla, holla, holla. Don't forget to like or subscribe. Like
Do
and
that.
subscribe. What?
Do that. It's probably a
Yeah,
couple more things. You could comment too. Definitely need them commentaries. Need them
yeah,
commentaries.
yeah. You got
If
suggestions?
it
You got
was
some
a
things you
fifth,
want us to talk about? Let us know.
you know, because it ain't all about us. It's about us. You feel? If it was a fifth the podcast, DTF,
Yes,
we out
sir.
here.
Out.
All
Holla,
right.
holla, holla.
Love you, sis.
Love you. Bye-bye.